I'm Mayan Quadri. I'm a community servant, and it is my pleasure to meet you in person and get to see a person that is within, brother of Deen al-Islam. So when and how did this journey begin, if I may?
I feel like, every journey begins when we're young. And, for me, I started to learn about Islam when I first started college, working building department. I started fasting, every summer or whatever it was then. But, the time wasn't right. So when I was ready, it was actually on a business journey. 12 years later, I was on my way to Kolkata, and we just one morning, of all things, we had I was waiting to finish up a project, and this one brother in Morocco, he says, I'm gonna go eat breakfast. He's my freelancer. And I says, what are you gonna eat breakfast for? It's like 3 a.m. He says, oh, I'm fasting. I says, why are you fasting? He says, Ramadan. I says, oh, let me join you. This sounds like another good experience. And
MashaAllah.
So, slowly, I see the purifying nature of Ramadan, and I said, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's the joy and the blessing that we share, and it's the people that are here and beyond. So for you, a man with a personality who had the quest to search for the truth, and when you actually saw the light at the end of the tunnel, can you share that joy, the feeling that you had, that hey, Islam, the peace, and the truth, and the happiness. How did you accept and be able? I just wanted to know your personal feeling at that time when you realized that this is it.
So it was like maybe another week after that. Somebody was told me, you need to actually do research. You need to learn about this thing that you're doing, Ramadan. That's when I realized the purifying nature, and that's when I started going to the mosque. Every single Maghrib and doing iftar with the brothers, and I just saw like the nature, everybody's sharing, on one big plate. This is like, it touched my heart, Then when I made sujood for the first time and I touched that marble at Masjid, Tipu Sultan Masjid, I've had this huge, personal experience, a deep connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And for me, you could say I would have taken shahada right then. But the one brother, he says, go back, it's like a few days, I was going back to New York, he says, learn about it from people who speak your own tongue. And so, that, I knew right then that this was right for me.
MashaAllah. Allahu Akbar. And now that you see young adults, kids of all ages, people of all walks of life, and being here, especially in Shelter Walk, how did you become part of it? You are the guest, you are the host, and I see you fitting in everywhere. How does it work for you? How are you actually enjoying this momentum, this time here?
Yeah, so I always feel like, that where we are was a journey of 1,000 steps, and, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He interweaves our history, and our steps in with those around us. I grew up a mile away from here. I used to play in the woods that are now condominiums. And so, coming here, actually one of my best friends, Hafiz Mohit, he brought me here and he says, you gotta check this place out. And so, I came here, I met with Mohammad, and, it was I just felt deeply connected, with the people here. And, what really hit me though is when I was looking for the right place to do tarawih. And it's just it's such a deep difference when you go from one masjid to another masjid. I was in Boston, I only had one masjid connected to there. And here it was just so much different than every other masjid that I went to. And so I was like, this is where I'm spending Ramadan.
MashaAllah, Allahu Akbar. And I became very lucky to meet with you and to get to share one of those decent meals, lots of donuts, lots of food and festive moments.
Amazing food.
No,
It's all love though. TLC. You know?
Right. Yeah. There may be brothers that are out there not so sure about the truth. And there may be a little bit of challenge and struggle. Would you share one of your personal thoughts with them? They may be listening from a distance, perhaps. So what suggestion, what guidance you may have for them, how they can open their eyes, perhaps, you know.
Yeah, I mean the best thing to do is to start to get connected, you know, play a game of basketball, you know, but and ask questions, you know.
Ask questions.
A lot of times you're in a gathering and you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to interrupt the speaker, but you know, especially if it's like either a Q&A session or it's somebody who's very versed in the deen and very comfortable with themselves. Like you can tell when somebody knows the subject matter, and
Right.
that's when you want to ask that person because you want to get it from the right source, and it's very important. But don't stop asking questions, and don't stop giving salams. And you know, greet as many people as you can. Get a feeling for who you are through other people.
MashaAllah. So, Eid, be happy, let's celebrate, let's have some fun, let's get some sweets and goodies. MashaAllah.